Having travelled from South Africa, through Botswana, Namibia and finally Hwange National Park in Zimbabwe, we arrived at the Painted Dog Conservation Centre, an outstanding organisation aimed at protecting wild dogs in Zimbabwe and educating local communities about conservation.
We have the Visitor Centre, that is where we are right now. The main attraction here is this interpretive hall. That is where you are going to learn more about the painting. We also have the Children's Bush Camp. This is where we bring in the grade 6 school children from all the local schools surrounding the Hwange National Park area. The kids camp for 4 days free of charge, learning about conservation. Alright, so now we'll have a look at our interpreting hall. A true story about one dog's life. His name was called Icebot. Icebot was born in year 96. Unfortunately, he died in year 2000 at the age of 4. His story is written in both English and Ndebele. Verses are local language. The story is also illustrated through these 7 large oil paintings. So we will read from chapter 1 right up to the last chapter there.
From the educational centre, we made our way across the raised wooden walkway, which crosses over one of the wild dog enclosures, which was empty at the time that we visited the centre. It was about an 800-metre walk through some beautiful forest.
At the end of the walkway, we came out to the rehabilitation centre. This is one of the most important parts of the project because it allows PDC to deal with any eventuality concerning injured or orphaned painted dogs or the translocation of entire packs from problem areas.
We met with one of the dog caretakers who showed us around the rehabilitation centre and the laboratory.
Morning, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, thank you.
My name is Clive, how are you?
We also met one of the dogs who has been living at the centre. It was a rescue dog who was born in captivity and is now one of their mascots. It was a female dog who was about 10 years old. We were shown around the lab and it was explained to us how important data is collected about the dog's movements and activities in the area, and also how domestic dogs in the local communities are vaccinated against rabies and canine distemper.
This is extremely important because painted dogs are very susceptible to these diseases. Clive also gave us a demonstration on the radio collars they use to track the dogs and how the collar has been designed to protect each individual from poaching snares, preventing the snare from tightening around the neck. Sadly, this is a very common cause of death without one.
From there we headed over to the Ganyana Art Centre to look at some of the snare artwork.
You can come in.
Yeah, well, they said that all of these things are made from snares, and that means just come and see.
Okay.
So apart from the snare wire and the recycled material, we also have the basketry project.
Snap. All made from snares.
Our primary goal is supporting our local communities as well as preaching the gospel of conservation. For every piece that the artisan make, they get a third of the selling price. So if we are to sell this at $60, it means a third will go to the artisan, a third going to support the dogs, and a third for us here for all the overall expenses. So basically this is who we are, teaching conservation through art and as well being an income generating project for the local community.
How did you learn how to do it?
Actually, there are two ways. It's either you get interested or you are taught to do it. That's the break.
A few days later, we revisited the Conservation Centre to see the bush camp in full swing with a group of visiting school children.
We're on our way to the bush camp for the kids at the Painted Dog Conservation Centre. We're going to go find out what they're doing today and what the centre teaches them about conservation of wild dogs.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think these kids are from Harare and yeah, they've come up for the day to learn about painted dogs.
How are you?
We're going to go and see some of the kids who are about to leave on game drive here. Nice to meet you, Sekunde. Is this yours? So you're going into Hwange National Park today?
Yes.
Do you have any idea of what animals you can find there? What do you think you can find there? Lions? Elephants? Rhinoceros? Woo!
You must enjoy, okay?
We have students coming from the local schools to do conservation education. We teach them quite a number of concepts. Our programs are more practical.
Yeah.
It's hands-on, everything. There's very little, written here and there besides just filling in questions and all that kind. But mostly it's activities. At the end of the day, we desire a community that is conservation conscious.
So I'm standing in the middle of the children's bush camp at PDC, Painted Dog Conservation Centre. I'll just walk you around a little bit, show you what's here. The kids stay here for 3 or 4 nights. They've got these little huts that they stay in, and then they go on game drives, as Wilton was telling us.
So we are hoping that in the very near future, which could be 10 years from now, the majority of the community members will be people that have been through the program. And when you stand up and talk about conservation, you are talking to people that at least have an idea what you're doing.